So when I got my call, I was on top of the world. I had been in love with France since I was 5. I don't really have a good reason. I just loved France and felt really drawn to the country. So when I opened my call, all my friends were there. My friends from college, my friends from high school were there. My family was there. And we had about 4 cell phones going. And I remember just opening it and reading that I was called to the France-Paris mission, and I was on top of the world. There wasn't a mission I wanted more. And one of the first reactions that I got, of course, is the cheering. And then the next one I heard, I had a friend from college say, "Oh, well, both of your baptisms will be great." And the mood was so happy that we were laughing about it. And and of course, in the moment, it was fun. Over time, I noticed a trend, however, that people who were practicing Mormons would tend to focus on, okay, you're not going to baptize anyone. You're not going to see any success. Whereas the people who weren't practicing Mormons, whether they were just non-practicing Mormons or weren't Mormons at all, they tended to be the ones who were the most excited for me, saying, "Oh, you're going to France. What an incredible cultural experience that will be. How fun that will be." And I agreed with them. I looked forward to it so much. One thing I did notice, however, was the comments about not being able to baptize subconsciously decreased my faith that I could. And I think that's a very common problem for missionaries called to certain parts of the world. And it's really sad because there are so many people that are ready for the truth. In France, I would say a few decades ago, maybe it was the case that the culture was so secular, it was so focused on, I want to be secular, I want to be atheist, that maybe it was harder to baptize a few decades ago. However, now there's this whole rebirth, this excitement that's coming out in France, where people are looking no longer to just be atheist, but they are looking for personal fulfillment. They don't necessarily think of it in a religious vocabulary, but they're looking for truth. They're looking for peace. They're looking for something greater than who they are. And with that, I see so many people that are ready for it. And I'd say that the baptisms are increasing. We're seeing that result, that France is baptizing more than it has in a very long time. But we could still be baptizing more. If we could stop that culture of telling people, okay, you're not going to baptize in France, or you're not going to baptize in whatever country, I think people will go out with more faith, and they'll be able to see greater miracles because they won't be inhibited by their own expectations of what they'll be able to accomplish. I saw miracles on my mission, and now when I talk to missionaries currently serving in France, it is 4 times as much as we saw, or their experiences are so much greater than what I saw on my mission. And I think it's increasing. President Uchtdorf's promised that a second harvest in Europe is coming, similar to the one back in the beginning of the church when just thousands were being baptized, and unfortunately for Europe, then going over to the United States. But now we're having this second harvest when the call is to stay and fortify the church where you are. So I'd say that I am so happy to have been able to see that beginning of the acceleration of the work in France and how incredible it was. And if we can be encouraging each other and talking about that aspect of the work, I think faith will be greater, and we'll be able to move forward to say, yes, I'm going to be one of those missionaries that sees those increased miracles and really be moving forward with such confidence in the Lord that He can do things through you.